To this weekend series, still overall a winning record at home, 18-17 at the Trop this season. On this Father's Day, we welcome in a couple of fathers to tell us about their pregame thoughts. Here are Dwayne Stats and Joe McGrain.
Todd, thank you very much. Hi again, everybody. The Devil Rays wrapping up this homestand with this three-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Rays won 2 or 3 from the Brewers, and so they're hoping to break even in this homestand by salvaging the final game of the series here against St. Louis. On the offensive side of things this year, Joe, it really has been a positive for the Devil Rays. They've been among, well, the top half in the American League in runs scored, consistently running number 5 or number 6 in total runs, and they've done that without a consistent bat from their big run producer, Aubrey Huff. They're hoping that the rest of the month of June will be something that Huff can duplicate based on the last couple of years when he started to get very hot at the plate.
Well, it started to show up in average. He's hitting in the low 300s so far for the month of June, but home runs have not been there. Just one home run, and you see throughout the course of his career, he has made a lot of hay in the month of June. 11 home runs and 62 runs driven in. I think it's very important for Aubrey to get that power bat going, because when he does, he has the ability to really carry a team. The guys in front of him have been doing a very good job getting on, and if he starts putting the ball in the seats, you're going to see the Rays starting to score runs in bunches, 2 and 3 and 4 runs at a time. And a lot of that has to do with the power in your lineup. The Cardinals were able to beat the Rays last night with power. A big home run by Albert Pujols. Hopefully for the Rays, Aubrey Huff gets that power stroke going.
Yeah, this is a very solid St. Louis ball club coming off last year's 105 wins in the National League. A little different look up the middle, and frankly, Joe, there were some folks who wondered if they would be as good at second and short. Well, at shortstop, David Eckstein, the Florida native, has certainly put all of those concerns to rest.
He certainly has. He's the little engine that could. He's really an overachiever, is David Eckstein. And you talk about the big guys in the lineup, the Rollins, Edmonds, Pujols. Well, these are the guys at the top, Taguchi and Eckstein, that have to get on, that have to wear the pitchers down and create havoc, to where those guys in the middle of the lineup see better pitches to hit. And that's exactly what Eckstein continues to do, have battling, workmanlike at-bats. And it seems like getting him to 2 strikes, having him 0-2, is not having him buried. That truly is when the at-bat really begins.
And so we'll check the pitching matchup. Let's see who's bringing the heat, brought to you by Texas Pete. 2 right-handers go at it this afternoon. Jeff Suppan making his 14th start. He's 5-6 this year for St. Louis. And for the Rays, young right-hander St. Pete native Doug Wechter on the hill with a mark of 3-3. Devil Rays will be hitting the road immediately following this game and moving up to New York before they return home next weekend here to Tropicana Field. We'll check out the starting lineup for St. Louis, presented by Toyota. David Eckstein, Abraham Nunez in there at third today in the place of Scott Rowland, followed by Albert Pujols. The DH is Larry Walker, John Mabry, Mark Grenzelani, Scott Sebo, so Taguchi, and Yadier Molina will round out the lineup for Tony La Russa.
Doug Wechter on the hill, making his 11th start. Last time out against the Brewers, 8 strong innings and a victory. Must work down in the strike zone to finish hitters upstairs. Lately the slider has had good tilt on it, sometimes a little too mechanically oriented. Good to establish as a starter, good rhythm. That's going to be very important this afternoon for Doug Wechter. Let's take a look at the defense. Brought to you this afternoon by the good folks at Rico. Jorge Cantu has been swinging a very hot bat. He's over at third base next to Julio Lugo at short, Green at second, Travis Lee at first, and Toby Hall behind the plate, catching young Doug Wechter.
Wechter at 3-3 on the year with a 529 earned run mark. We're all set to play ball. David Eckstein in the batter's box, and the first pitch is in there, a strike call. Jim Wolf calling the balls and strikes. Sam Holbrook, Rob Drake, and Randy Marsh rounding out the umpiring assignments. And this one hits Eckstein. We mentioned last night that Eckstein set a school record at the University of Florida for being hit by a pitch. So that's not uncommon for him.
I think he has a high pain tolerance too, and it's not like he took what you would call great evasive action, but he does it the right way by making it look like he is going away from it, but he's actually just turning but not really giving any ground. That's the secret to getting hit on purpose.
And he's off and running on the first pitch. Nunez hits it through the vacant left side of the infield. Crawford makes the pickup in left center, and the Cardinals on the hit and run put men at first and third.
Well, Greg Biggio, who also has a penchant for getting hit by pitches, was talking about how it's important to score when you get hit because it doesn't hurt as much as when you get stranded out there on the bases getting hit by a pitch. That didn't hurt. Just a few seam marks on the elbow.
So Eckstein's at third with Nunez at first. With nobody out, Wechter suddenly faces Albert Pujols. A home run last night for Pujols, his 17th of the year. And a wave and a miss on that pitch, biting down and away.
That's one of the best sliders, Dwayne, I've seen Doug Wechter throw in recent memory. Hopefully he can bottle this one. That was nasty.
Over to first, Nunez back in. Can you only imagine, and Wechter has the capability of throwing a sinker that would go down and in to the right-handed hitter. You got a pitch like that last one that goes away and another pitch that breaks in the opposite direction. How effective a guy might be if he could do that consistently.
Well, Greg Maddux is going to punch his ticket in Cooperstown basically with that pitching tenet of widening the plate, having two pitches breaking in opposite directions away from the plate.
We don't see it much from Wechter, but he has that capability, and you would have to think that that would be the next big step for him.
Well, we saw Jason Isringhausen close out the two games previously in this series, throwing around 90 miles an hour. Mulder won the game one of the series, throwing around 88, 89. As long as the ball is moving and you're locating it, you know, that's plenty enough. Plenty of velocity.
This one down and away.
You know, having said that, if you can't consistently live upstairs unless you're going to be riding the fastball around 95, 96. That's not Doug Wechter. I think his identity as a pitcher is that he's going to get more outs down in the strike zone than up. So he should be throwing that sinker more often.
3-1 is outside. He misses to load the bases with nobody out. If nothing else, it would give him a lot more confidence in situations with men on base because you're only one pitch away from getting a couple outs on a pitch like that. Now he has the bases loaded with nobody out, and he faces Larry Walker.
Well, the mentality you have now as a starter is try to get a ground ball in the middle of the field. You'll concede the run for 2 outs. Stay out of the big inning.
And a ground ball right side. Lee will come to the plate. Out there. Oh, he's going to call him safe. And he says that Hall had his foot off the plate. And here comes Lou to argue with Jim Wolf. Oh, my.
Well, you know, you see this happen a lot where a first baseman is getting pulled off the bag but still keeps his back foot in contact long enough to get the out. Let's take a look with that ball tailing on Travis Lee. Ball there in plenty of time to freeze it when it gets in his glove. And is his foot still on the plate? Looks like it is to me from there.
Oh, my.
Umpires give first baseman all kinds of, well, this should probably be the conclusive look right here. Boom. His toe is right on the plate.
Oh, my. He just missed the call. That's all there is to it. A little over-officious, and Jim Wolf missed the call. And the Cardinals have a run. So that's going to be an error charged to Lee. Here's John Mabry, and the pitch is a strike.
Boy, that radically changes the complexion of the inning.
Surely does. Ground ground ball. The first, back of the bag. Lee's going to step on first this time. Another run scores. That's the first out of the inning.
You know, the umpire gives you a lot of leeway as a first baseman when those throws are pulling you one way or the other. And I've got to believe that they're talking about that very play.
Well, you hate to see a call like that cost you a run when it should have been an out. And now it's 2-0.
I think you get into more trouble as an umpire, Dwayne, by calling him safe as opposed to out.
Here's Grazzolani.
Because there has to be overwhelming conclusive evidence to show you that he was pulled off the bag, and I don't think there was enough.
No, I don't either. Grazzolani will get the intentional walk to load the bases and set up a potential double play possibility here.
Well, you were talking about being able to throw ground balls and being one pitch away. You get that force out at the plate, and then you truly are one pitch away from getting out of it unscathed with a double play.
You know, you never know what's going to happen, but if he's out at the plate, the whole situation turns out to be so different. For an example, that ball hit by Mabry, you know, might have been a double play ball. Who knows? Now here's Scott Seabold. That's a strike. So Eckstein and Nunez have scored the runs. That's a foul ball. An 0-2 count. Cardinals have 2 runs and a hit. A hit batsman, a walk, fielder's choice, and an error on the ball hit by Walker. This one too high. It's 1-2. Seabold chased that one. So Wechter picks up a strikeout on that pitch, running away from the right-handed hitter.
A couple of good early signs for Doug Wechter. He threw just a nasty slider to Pujols, and there's another good one to Seabold. Get that fastball established to go with that. Could be a good day.
Here's so Taguchi. Foul back, strike 1. Taguchi's had a nice series for the Cardinals. He had a couple of base hits and a run batted in last night. Also scored a run after picking up 3 hits in the first game of the series. He also drove in a run in that game. Bouncing ball foul up the first base side. Bases full of Cardinals. They've scored twice in the inning. And he is out on strikes to retire the side. Bottom of the first coming, St. Louis 2, Rays coming in. Bottom of the first, St. Louis with a couple runs, one of those unearned in the top of the first inning. Starting lineup for the Rays presented by Toyota. Carl Crawford, Julio Lugo, and Jorge Cantu. Aubrey Huff, Johnny Gomes, and then Travis Lee. David Hollins, followed by Toby Hall and Nick Green, rounding out the Rays lineup for Lou Piniella.
What a shrewd acquisition by Walt Jocketty last year, signing Suppan to a 2-year deal. Went 16-9 for the Cardinals. He pitches to contact. Of course, very good control. Lately has been hanging that cut fastball to left-handed hitters.
And Carl Crawford takes the first pitch for a strike. Cardinal right-hander, 5-6, making his 14th start. A 424 earned run average. Crawford flips the fly ball into left. Seabold out there today, and he makes the catch for the out.
Let's take a look at the Cardinal defense, brought to you by Rico. So Taguchi has been doing an admirable job in the absence of Jim Edmonds in center field. Not only having very good at-bats, had some great routes to some long fly balls in last night's game.
Julio Lugo in the batter's box for the Rays. Suppan's pitch misses outside. A ball, no strikes. Lugo short on the bat, taking the pitch for ball 2. 2-0. Rays have had some success against this St. Louis right-hander throughout his career. In fact, he is 0-6 lifetime against the Rays. That's a strike, and the count is now 2-1.
Yeah, maybe the best thing for him, Dwayne, was getting over to the other league. 16-9 a year ago and won a lot of big games for the Cardinals.
He misses in. He'll run the count to 3-1.
He's the type of pitcher that catchers really love to catch. They stick the glove up there and he consistently hits the target.
There's a fly ball into left field. Seabold started in and manages to go back and still make the catch. His first move was in, but he's lanky out there, and that helped him make that grab. A reminder in the game today, we are again participating in the Home Run Challenge, where every home run raises $30,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE. Up to today, 104 home runs have been hit, raising $2,407,000 for research. Jorge Cantu takes that first pitch for a strike. Cantu got into the home run act in the first game of the series Thursday when he hit 2 off left-hander Mark Mulder. A little bit wide.
He's been red hot since he's asked to hear the mariachi music as he comes to the plate. And he was talking about how big the baseball looks. It looks like he's been taking hacks at a piñata without a blindfold.
2 balls and a strike. A 2-run first for St. Louis. Rays base is empty, 2 gone in the bottom of the first. Now it's 3-1.
Lou Piniella talks about a great weight shift that Cantu has. Let that power flow out his arms and into the barrel of the bat.
And there's ball 4. So that puts a runner on for the Rays, and we'll get Aubrey Huff to the plate. The topic of our pregame discussion, Aubrey Huff, the Rays hoping that he can get that run production bat, that power bat going here in the month of June. He is a career .308 hitter in June, and so far the power numbers are down.
Well, you know, he hasn't been able to string the at-bats together where he has those good hard swings where he really turns it loose. I think a lot of times this year he's been kind of feeling for the ball a little out front. He hasn't really quite strung the at-bats together where he's had good balance to where he could just let that natural ability take over and take hard, confident swings.
He's out front a bit right there, and he fouled it back, and right there's a big part of what you're talking about.
And sometimes you're caught in between. You are early on the breaking ball or late on the fastball. Timing has been a problem of late for Aubrey.
He is a career .385 hitter off this right-hander with a home run. And he takes that one in there for a strike. Puts him behind in the count 1-2.
As an example again, and you don't always have to swing to really show that your timing's off. He's gearing for the fastball. And look at that. Gets locked up with a breaking ball in the middle of the plate.
Inside, snap throw down to first, and Cantu is back in. He was picked off once before by Molina, and that was close at first base.
He's really going to have to address that. He misses his fair share of signs, and in last night's game really wasn't going anywhere and got picked off. I think Billy Hatcher needs a shepherd's hook over there.
The 2-2, and a base hit into right field for Huff. Cantu will stop at second. A walk and now a single. The Rays with 2 men on. Johnny Gomes will be coming to the plate. Gomes up a spot in the Rays lineup, hitting 5th today.
Much better swing, by the way, from Aubrey. Very comfortable hitting off Suppan.
Gomes, the designated hitter. His average is .324. Had a couple 2-base hits in last night's game. Gradually working his way up in the Rays lineup. He was 7th here in the first game of the series, 6th last night, and 5th in this one. 1-0.
Lou Piniella likes his energy, his swagger, the way he turns it loose.
Well, the Geico Direct quote of the day, Lou Piniella and Johnny Gomes. You need that swagger on a team. He takes a nice, healthy cut at the ball. He's aggressive.
You know, the guy that Lou Piniella managed in Seattle was a lot like that. He hasn't been swinging a very hot bat now, but Brett Boone had the similar approach. He's up there swinging from his heels.
There's a strike. Well, as opposed to some other hitters you might see, Gomes is up there giving the impression he's ready to take the game to the pitcher as opposed to the other way around.
And to try to tear the cover off the ball.
And there's a base hit punch through the middle. Cantu's on his way to the plate. He will score. Huff stops at second, and Gomes comes through with an RBI single to put the Rays on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game.
And if you're swinging hard, you're dangerous. Gomes not getting all of that, but with that good hard swing, it provides the strength to muscle it right up the middle. Down on the barrel towards the trademark. But a run scored.
And the hitter is Travis Lee, who was charged with an error in the top of the inning. The first error he's been charged with since May the 8th of 2003. He takes a strike at the knees. He had gone 170 games since his last error.
Well, do you think Mike Hegan up in Cleveland is aware of that yet?
This one is down. 1 ball and 1 strike. What was Hegan? 178 games, right?
Yep. Just popped open the champagne as we speak.
Here's the 1-1. That's low. 2 balls and a strike.
It's like all those Miami Dolphin football players under Don Shula who had that perfect season. And they say every time an undefeated team loses a game, somebody is popping a cork. We're still the best.
3 balls and a strike.
He's got the pin. He's got the temporary tattoos.
And the wristband.
Nicely adorned.
Three and one the count. He's ahead of the St. Louis right-hander. Full count.
And hopefully he can have his name associated with the home run challenge for prostate cancer research.
Full count.
Very unlike Suppan, a control pitcher.
It's after getting the first 2 men. And the pitch is fouled back. So he'll have to make another pitch here with Huff off second base and Gomes off first. Cantu has scored a run. They go again. The pitch hit on the ground to second. Granzolani cast this one, and they toss to first in time. Rays settle for a run lead 2-1, 2-1 St. Louis. Yadier Molina is going to lead it off here in the second inning for St. Louis. Their young catcher takes the fastball in there, and that's a strike call from Doug Wechter.
Well, one thing we found out in this series, do not let yourself, if you're a Rays base runner, stray very far from the bases. He will try to pick you, and got Cantu last night.
1-1 to count to him.
All these Molinas, the catching Molinas, as you expertly referred to them.
Looper up the right side. That's going to be foul.
Great family of catchers, but who was doing the pitching to allow these guys to really develop as catchers? Somebody had to do some of the hurling.
Well, they've all distinguished themselves, and this youngster right here, as we mentioned the other night, the 2 older brothers said this guy's the best of the lot, and the Cardinals thought so much of him, so they let Matheny go, and he's a pretty good catcher, I'll tell you.
Great defensive catcher. Here's Cantu getting picked, a huge secondary lead, and he almost got him today. You wonder where Jorge was going in last night's game.
Full count to Molina. And he puts it into play back into center field where Damon Hollins is there, and he takes care of that. One away. Now here's the Just for Men hair color rejuvenating play. Johnny Gomes right back up from Durham and belted a home run against the Milwaukee Brewers, and has been swinging a good bat in this series. An RBI single today and 2 doubles last night. That's the Just for Men hair color rejuvenating play. Just for Men, more than a hair color, it's the rejuvenator. Targets only the gray for a natural look. David Eckstein takes the first pitch, dropping in there for a strike.
Saw a look in the Rays dugout of Johnny Gomes, and right next to him Rocco Baldelli, who's scheduled to get Tommy John surgery on Thursday.
1-1 to count. And really doing it now. He could serve. He can hit right now. He could be a DH, but the idea is let's get this over with so he's ready to play at the start of next season instead of still rehabbing into the start of next season.
Well, he was really going to fill a lot of gaps coming back after the All-Star break. They really missed him. The knee injury really hurt the Rays in the first half. This, you hope he is absolutely 100% from top to bottom next spring.
Eckstein drops this one into right field with a base hit. He's on for the second straight time today. So he takes it the other way. Even when this guy doesn't get any hits, and that's his first hit of the series, he still is a problem because, number one, he'll be so solid defensively, but in the first game of this series, he was on twice, a couple of walks, he scored a run, he drove in a run with a ground ball. Last night he sacrificed some runners over, he drew a walk. hit by pitch the first time up today, scored the first run of the game, and here's a base hit for him.
Well, as a pitcher, he's a guy that is very pesky, is going to make you work. You're definitely going to be aware of him, even if he doesn't get any hits. Pesky little runt.
Said with great affection, because you appreciate what this guy does, but you're right, he becomes a pest if you're playing against him.
Yep. Part of a world championship with the Angels in Anaheim, and says this team in its businesslike approach really reminds him a lot of the Angels when they won.
Tap foul by Nunez. Nunez in there at third base today. They activated Scott Rowland, and it was a very quick return for Scott Rowland after the injury and the subsequent arthroscopic surgery. He played last night and has today off. Nunez in there. One ball, one strike.
This Cardinal bunch very businesslike after they win ball games. It's not a race to see who can crank the music. It's put the hats on the hook and just reflect about the quality of their team. And I think not making it to the World Series with the quality and talent that they have would really feel like unfinished business for them.
Well, you know, they won 105 games last year and then were summarily dispatched by the Red Sox in the World Series. So there's still a great deal of hunger with this ball club. It's one thing if you get to the series and it goes 6 or 7 games, but it was 4 out, and they just feel that they are a better team than the accounting that they gave of themselves in the World Series. So they start this season hungry again.
I don't care how you slice it. I didn't think anyone was going to beat the Red Sox in that series as hot as they were, coming back and winning 4 straight games after being down 0-3 against the Yankees. Just buzzsawed the Yankees and the Cardinals.
Upstairs, the count is now 3-1, but that doesn't make the Cardinals feel any better.
No, it doesn't.
It's a serious clubhouse at times over there. They lose a game or two. Base hit the other way. Nunez is 2 for 2. 2 men on with 1 out.
The Cardinals won the World Championship in '82. Last night was turn back the clock night. In 1985, they should have won the World Championship were it not for a controversial call by Don Denkinger at first. And in '87, Twins beat them 4-3. And it was one of those series that whoever had the home game was going to win. Cardinals won all 3 in St. Louis. Minnesota won all 3 in Minnesota, or all 4 in Minnesota.
Here's Albert Pujols fouling a pitch off. 1 strike to count. You know, this Nunez, he'd been with the Pirates in his career, and the Cardinals signed him as a minor league free agent in January. He's been impressive. 1-1. He's 2 for 2 today. Aboard at first base with that single, and just played the heck out of third base in the first game of this series. There he is. And one of those important pieces to a good ball club. A ball, 2 strikes.
Nunez was impressive Friday night. Taguchi has been impressive in this series, and they're 2 guys that are filling in for Edmonds and Rowland and doing an admirable job.
Ground ball, that's going to go through the middle, base hit into center. Eckstein's on his way to the plate. Nunez will go to third. And Pujols drives in his 55th run of the year.
what you talk about with regard to Pujols and battling at bats down in the count 1 and 2. Not taking that huge power-laden swing. Just fighting something off away, trying to flick it up the middle. He's really good.
You know, that's part of being a smart hitter. Number one, he has such great plate coverage, Joe. But he got down 1-2, and there's a run-scoring situation, and a base hit up the middle does the job for St. Louis. They take a 3-1 lead. Tonight, the world's best players will again gather to finally answer the question, who is the greatest poker player in the world? Find out on the Poker Superstars 2 tonight at 8 p.m. only on FSN Florida.
Well, speaking of poker, Tony La Russa wears quite the poker face during the game. Wears those sunglasses so nobody could see which way he is looking. Even playing possum down there in the corner.
Jim Corcoran is up in the Rays bullpen. So there's action early here. Larry Walker's at the plate. Pitch inside. 1-0. Cardinals are 3 runs, 4 hits now. And a line drive base hit into left. Nunez will score from third to make it 4-1. Walker drives in the run. Pujols stopped at second.
A lot of hitters in this lineup.
And John Mabry will be the hitter. Mabry drove in a run with a ground ball his first time up. First pitch, fastball, a strike. A lot of pitches in this inning again for Wechter. 0-2. He got Molina, but since then has given up 4 consecutive hits. And the Cardinals have 2 more runs in the second inning. Fly ball lifted into right center for Huff. He's making the call and the catch. And Pujols hangs on at second. 2 outs in the second inning. Second baseman, number 12, Mark Granzolanic will be the hitter. Granzolanic missed about half the season last year in Chicago. He had a bad foot and Achilles problem. So he signs on with the Cardinals and is healthy and playing every day at second base and hitting .310 in the process. The pitch is down. A ball, no strikes. Two and 0. 4-5-0 for St. Louis. A run, 2 hits, and an error charge to the Rays so far. There's a strike. 2-1. Wechter's pitch lifted into right. Routine for Huff. And that retires the side. 2 1/2 innings, 4-1 St. Louis. Happy Father's Day as we move into the bottom of the second inning from Tropicana Field. Damon Hollins leads off. And the first pitch is a strike. Hollins hauled and green for the Rays against Jeff Suppan. 1-1. Rays picked up a run with 2 outs in the first. Cantu walk. And back-to-back singles by Huff and Gomes produced a run. Ground ball down to third. Nunez up with it, and the throw right on the money. I'll tell you, he gets in position to make plays with his footwork, Joe, down at third base as well as anybody. And he makes very accurate throws. Reminder, we'll be with you on FSN Florida again Tuesday when the Rays take on the Yankees. You always have the best seat in the house and the television home of the Devil Rays.
Very solid with his footwork, creating that good hop.
Toby takes the pitch in there for a strike. We'll be over the air tomorrow to begin that 4-game series against the Yankees from Yankee Stadium. Over the air on PAX and the Rays TV network tomorrow, and then back on FSN Florida Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon, by the way. And the Rays play there Thursday night. So this game today with the Cardinals wrapping up this segment of interleague play. The Rays do have an interleague matchup next weekend here against the Marlins. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the TV schedule starting tomorrow in New York over the air, and then the 2 middle games on FSN Florida, and back over the air against the Yankees back home Friday night. Toby lifts the fly ball into left. Scott Sebo coming in, and he tracks that one, making the grab. 2 outs. Nick Green comes up now. Green hitting .273. Scored a run after being hit by a pitch last night. Had a couple strikeouts. And he looks at that one for a strike. One and one. Close again. 2-1. Rays right now 3-11 in interleague play after going 15-3 last year. 2-2.
They've got the Rays to the 500 mark, and talking about really adding on and doing some things. It's been a reversal of fortune this year for the Rays in interleague play, as you mentioned.
And he's hit by that pitch. So Nick Green hit by a pitch. He'll go to first with 2 outs. Let's go to the top of the order, Carl Crawford. Suppan is coming off a loss in Toronto in his last outing. He pitched 7 innings, gave up 3 runs, and lost 4-1. Crawford takes one low and in, a ball, no strikes. Here's his line from the last time out. So he actually pitched well enough to win a ball game, and in fact, with this St. Louis offense, usually that's enough. The Cardinals leading the National League in runs scored with 344 coming into play today. Crawford fouls one away. 1-1 the count.
You know, when you talk about their runs, you would immediately think Pujols, Rolen, and Edmonds, but it really is a collection of hitters that, you know, do not take off at bats and just are constantly wearing the pitcher down.
Over to first. Green is back in.
That's really been the theme of this whole series, the professional at-bats that the Cardinals have.
popper. Eckstein out from shortstop after it. That retires the side. We're through 2, 4-1 St. Louis. Leads it off. Webster's first pitch. Breaking ball is in there. One strike the count. Wave and a miss. Nothing in 2. A 2-strike count. Seabold, formerly with the New York Yankees organization. Chopper down to third. Cantu makes this throw on the money. That's the first out. And so here's Taguchi. Batting 8th in the Cardinal lineup. Another one of those guys you were talking about, Joe, who just battles you up there. He's not a big name. He's not a flashy player. But he fits in when the Cardinals need him. And without Edmonds in the lineup, Taguchi's playing center field. He's had a productive series.
Well, without the likes of Edmonds and Roland, and there haven't been too many times in recent memory where the Cardinals have had what they would call getting ready for postseason lineup together. These guys have done just a fantastic job filling in for Roland and Edmonds.
Foul out of play. You know, the other thing, you get a club like this, and we mentioned it last night, Tony La Russa tied Bucky Harris for 4th place on the all-time wins list with 2,157 wins. Green takes care of this, and so Taguchi is out of there. And he deserves some of the credit, but he'll also tell you that he has veteran players on this club, and the clubhouse does a pretty good job of policing itself. And what a great help that is to a manager and a coaching staff.
That's the way it should be. It should be about veteran players teaching young players how to play the game, how to conduct themselves. And just because you have a big league uniform on does not mean that you're a major leaguer. They have a lot of pros over there. Reggie Sanders, Mark Mulder.
Ground ball down to third. Cantu up with it. Go to first. It's a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the third. 4-1 St. Louis. First pitch to Julio Lugo. He takes a look at that one too low. Lugo, Cantu, and Huff coming up for the Rays in the bottom of the third.
Rays will be playing the Marlins Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of next week.
Right here at Tropicana Field following the short trip up to New York. A little bit outside. 2-0. Rays scored their run in the first, driven home by Johnny Gomes.
Johnny Gomes.
And a ground ball down to short. Eckstein makes the throw to first, and Lugo is out of there. One away. And the fanfare of the mariachi could only mean one thing. Here is Jorge Cantu.
Arriba, arriba.
The Cantu fan club.
Growing as we speak.
I think he brought them up from the ranch. Cantu walked and scored his first time. Takes a cut and misses. Strike one.
Can you imagine the average day on the ranch being exhausted, deep in slumber around 3 in the morning? Hey, get up. The horses got out. That's some tough work.
A little foul ball and wind up out of play. The count is 2 strikes. Cantu leading the team in home runs with 9. You know, he's at third base today, and he's in the minor leagues and a little in the big leagues have played short, but second and third. You know, you could also start to think in terms of first base with Cantu, Joe.
The way he's producing runs. Yeah, it's not like you'd be hiding him over there.
Yep.
The corners are reserved for your best run producers.
And, you know, you always have to think outside the box once in a while, and that might be a case where you might find him from time to time. Hey, there's an extra base hit. Up the left field line. Back into the corner. Cantu's on his way to second. A two-base hit for Cantu.
Cue the mariachi music. Turn on the blender. Get a party going. Another extra base hit for Jorge Cantu. Such a great low ball hitter. Watch him go down and get this sinker down and in. He is swinging it. Muy caliente.
That's his 17th double of the year. And here is Aubrey Huff. Huff singled in the first. It's been a struggle for Huff. Aubrey swings and lifts it into left center field. Seabold on the move, though. He'll be there to make the catch. Cantu back to tag, but no chance to advance after the tag. And Huff is out number 2. Now Johnny Gomes will be the hitter. Gomes drove in the double range run in the first inning. Back up from the minor leagues. He opened the homestand with a home run, his second time up Monday night against the Brewers. He connected off the left-hander Chris Capuano for that homer. An aggressive hitter up there, trying to chip away at this 3-run deficit, which is down a ball, no strikes. Wave and a miss. Off speed, and that big cut and a miss by Gomes.
Suppan has always done a great job selling that changeup. Very good at subtracting. Show you the fastball and take a little off, a little more off, maybe a little more than that.
Sounds like your last trip to the barber shop. This one is down. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. He had his best year ever last year in a Cardinal uniform with 16 wins. Boston, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, briefly the Red Sox again, and then St. Louis. 2-1 delivery. That will even the count at 2-2.
Another example, Dwayne, of a pitcher making his pitches and changing speeds and working quickly. Not blessed with a lights-out fastball. Won't give you a lot of velocity.
Ooh, he just missed there. That was very close with a fastball just off the corner. In fact, Joe, all 3 of these starting pitchers in this series for the Cardinals, Mulder, last night Morris, and today Suppan, they're not going to light up the radar gun. They've all been around 90, give or take 1 or 2 ticks.
Well, some pitchers throw and some pitchers pitch. The good ones pitch.
3-2, and there's ball 4. So Gomes is aboard. He threw him a 3-2 breaking ball there and walked him. Then at first and second with 2 gone, and Travis Lee 0 for 1. He does have a home run this year, and that came as a pinch hitter. Matter of fact, he also has a home run on Suppan. Last start Suppan made against the Rays was at the end of September in 03, and Lee hit one out against him. 1 strike to count this time around. Travis Lee at 252 overall. 1-1. Lee hitting close to 300 when he went on the disabled list, and he's hitting under 220 since he has returned. So he's still trying to find his form. He takes a strike. 1-2. Behind and the count. Two men on with 2 outs. Here is the pitch. And he's called out on strikes. A breaking ball got him looking. At the end of 3, 4-1 St. Louis. On to the 4th inning. It's a 4-1 ball game. St. Louis out in front. They'll send the top of the order. David Eckstein to the plate. Eckstein, Nunez, and then Pujols. Wechter's first pitch is a strike on the outside corner. He begins Eckstein with a fastball out there. Eckstein's been hit by a pitch in single and has scored 2 runs.
Well, here's the real problem in this ball game to this point. Eckstein is working on his 3rd at bat, and this is just starting the 4th inning.
Never a good sign. He looks the fly ball to left. Carl Crawford makes the grab. He's retired for the first time. Hey, let's check in with Todd Callis. Where are you, Todd?
Dwayne, I'm right here over by the press box, and you know, last night those uniforms that both the Rays and the Cardinals wore, the throwback uniforms, are available. This is beginning on Wednesday on DevilRays.com. You can have the powder blue jerseys of the Cardinals or the Devil Rays University of Tampa pinstripes. They both looked great last night. Check it out on DevilRays.com. You can bid this Wednesday through the All-Star break, and all proceeds for those uniforms will go to benefit the Rays of Hope Foundation. So the throwback jerseys are available to the public. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much for that update. Nunez lifts a fly ball back to center field. Hollins is there and takes care of that. So 2 quick outs here, and we'll check out the Aflac trivia question here in the top of the 4th. Which pitcher recorded the final out of the Rays' record 11-run inning versus Seattle? That was on the 8th of May in 2000. This is Albert Pujols. The pitch is a strike. Dig back into the archives for that one. Big cut and a miss. 2 strikes.
You know, in a turn back the clock game last night, did you think those Cardinal blue jerseys were too blue?
I know you did, didn't
Yeah.
you? You thought they were a little...
Do you remember them being that blue?
Well, I don't, now that you mention it. Probably had you not said anything. But
I don't remember the Royals. It was pretty much in the same color as the Royals powder blue uniforms used to be.
the caveat to that being, my wife once told me that if I ever wrote a book, the title of it should be, I don't remember that.
I'm sure you'd do great in front of Congress.
I don't recall.
Mm-hmm.
2 strikes the count here on Albert Pujols. Base is empty, 2 gone. Yeah, they didn't get the shading just right. Right back to the middle, and that's going to pop through into center. Pujols makes a big turn. He's aggressive on the bases as well. That's hit number 6 given up by Wechter.
Third time that Pujols has been on his second hit up the middle. And again, we talked about his fantastic plate coverage. This ball way away, going off the outside corner, and he's still able to punch it up the middle.
Here's Larry Walker. Veteran left-handed hitter, drove in a run with a base hit into left his first time. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's a guy who knows a lot about hitting. He's been such a great hitter. He's had good power years and has hit for average. And he's thinking about hanging him up at the end of this year.
Well, he is saying that his body is starting to tell him that enough's enough, and it wouldn't matter if he was hitting 400 at this point or what he's currently hitting, 253. He has had a great career.
There goes Pujols, swing and a miss. There'll be no throw. He got a great jump off Wechter and stole it off the double raised pitcher. We've seen a lot of that lately from this staff.
Rays have been kind of inattentive on the hill, not checking the runners. And that's a big stolen base because it gets a runner into scoring position with 2 outs.
3-1 the count. Pujols now 5 of 5 in the stolen base department. Upstairs, Walker draws the base on balls. So with 2 outs, the Cardinals have put 2 men on base. John Mabry comes on the bat. Mabry nothing of 2. He drove in a run with a ground ball his first time. We mentioned throughout the series, Mabry has been a better hitter against lefty pitching than right-handed pitching this year, and that was the case last year. A little tap third base. That's a foul ball. Strike 1. And he came into this year, Mabry, his 3rd time around with the Cardinals, and it has been a rather lengthy career for him now. He came into this year exactly dead even against left-handed and right-handed pitching.
It's pretty much the way another left-handed former Cardinal, Keith Hernandez, used to be. Used to hit the lefties just as well as the righties.
He swings and hits it deep into right center field. That ball's going to be in there for extra bases. 1 hop and to the fence. Pujols has scored. Walker's going to score on the double by Mabry, and the Cardinals pick up 2 more runs to make it 6-1. Mabry driving in his 2nd and 3rd runs of the game.
This has really just been a byproduct of good hitters getting more opportunities early in the game. This is the 3rd time through the lineup, not through the 4th inning, for these Cardinal hitters.
And it's a lineup filled with hitters, as we have repeated before. Hitters who get good at bats. They have intelligent approach, and as a result, they get good at bats. Grenzolani clips a popper toward the line and right. Hupp is there to make the catch, and that retires the side. Bottom of the 4th coming, 6-1 St. Louis.
Good afternoon. Great to have you aboard. David Holland's going to lead off the bottom of the 4th for the Rays against the right-hander Jeff Suppan.
And a big-time happy Father's Day wishes to all the dads out there. And hopefully this is the day where our spouses don't ask us to do any menial tasks.
No work.
Yeah.
A strike to count to Holland. 0-2. Isn't this the day that there are more telephone calls made than any other day of the year?
Our good buddy, our high home cameraman,
He confirms that?
Jimmy C.
All right, Jimmy.
It's like, Dad, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day, but you're going to have to pay for it.
Oh, it just makes you feel needed.
Mm-hmm.
A ball, 2 strikes. Rays down by 5. Collins lifts a popper into short right. Mabry coming in a hurry, and he makes the catch for the out. Hey, and by the way, that reminds us, here's the answer answer to the trivia question today, the Aflac trivia question. Which pitcher got the final out of the Rays' 11-run inning versus Seattle in May of 2000? And the Aflac answer is John Mabry. How about that?
A good question there.
Yeah, it turned out to be a great question. Todd Callis digging very deep into the Rays archives to come up with that question and the answer.
A very studious Todd Callis, not only a strapping young lad, but a studious one.
Apparently, Mabry had made another pitching appearance. Toby Hall pops it up, the 1-0 pitch, and Eckstein makes the call on it. 2 gone. Mabry had pitched once against the Atlanta Braves, and his time with the Marlins in a 20-3 loss, and gave the Braves 5 runs in a third of an inning. And in that game against the Rays, it was Lou Piniella who brought Mabry into that game. The Rays took a 14-3 lead with 11 eighth-inning runs and won 14-4. There's a strike to Nick Green. Chop to third. Nunez gets rid of that one quickly. A 1-2-3 inning through 4-6-1 St. Louis. New pitcher for the Rays, right-hander Tim Corcoran. Scott Seabold fouling away the first pitch. Corcoran had been pitching at Durham, where he'd gone 4-1. Pitched here the other night and was impressive in a 2-inning stint in relief of Casey Fossa.
He did a nice job of maintaining his poise in his debut. Just came right after the hitters, throwing strikes, and that's the quickest way to Lou Piniella's heart as a pitcher.
0-2 the count.
Corcoran slowly working his way in there.
Wave and a miss. Nice pitch right there to get Seabold. So Corcoran strikes out the first man he faces.
Good over the top hook.
Corcoran the other night, 2 innings, 1 hit. He faces So Taguchi right now. Fastball down. 1 ball, no strikes. Corcoran out of Louisiana. Ground ball, backhanded by Green, and the throw back to first. 2 outs. 2 up and 2 down. Gets the Rays with one of the new 4-pack mini plant options. Choose from the Bronx Bombers, the Bo Sox, Interleague, or Hall of Fame 4-packs, including games against the Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, and more. Operators standing by. Call 727-825-3250. Yadier Molina. To the fly ball to center and is grounded out to third base. Strike 1. Rays wrapping up this series here against the Cardinals. Last year's National League champion St. Louis Ball Club. What a nice crowd here today.
Lots of red shirts.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
So you have to believe they're sampling some of St. Louis's finest here this afternoon.
Two outs with the bases empty. This one drops low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Just like your buddy and the late great Harry Carey used to say, 6 of my best friends just came into the booth, and they're all named Bud.
There's a foul ball out of play. Well, you know, it has that great quality when it comes to thirst. It can quench it or prevent it. Two gone. Right back into the screen. Corcoran the other night making his major league debut, and he jams Molina and a roller to third. Cantu makes the play. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 6-1 St. Louis. Carl Crawford to lead it off for the Rays, and he sends a fly ball into right this time. It hangs up for Mabry, who makes the catch. Carl is nothing out of 3.
And, you know, I think he needs to get to a point to where he is getting into the at-bat. He hit that ball hard, but he's just not seeing a lot of pitches lately.
Same thing last night. In his first 3 at-bats, he saw 6 pitches. He's seen 6 pitches in this game. Now, Julio Lugo steps in. Lugo looking for his first hit of the game. It's low. 1 ball, no strikes. The Subway who's on deck situation. Jorge Cantu, he's had a good home stand, coming off a pretty good streak on the road. 1-1.
We're talking about Carl. It doesn't take long for the scouting reports to percolate around the league, where pitchers start really preying on that aggressiveness.
It's 1-2.
Ideally, as a pitcher, you want the hitter to put the ball into play on your terms, and it's just the reverse as a hitter. Carl very anxious early in the count right now.
A little bit high with that one, and that takes the count to 2-2. Shortstop Eckstein up with it. Out of there in a hurry to get Lugo. And that's one thing he does. Eckstein can get rid of that ball quickly. From Tropicana Field this afternoon, the wrap-up game of this series. Dwayne Statz and Joe McGrain. Todd Callis. Rays finishing off the homestand against the National League champion Cardinals. Here's Jorge Cantu. The pitch is a strike. Oh, 1 the count. Ball lifted into not too deep left. Seaball coming in to make the grab. We've completed 5. 6-1 St. Louis. It's 6-1. We move into the top of the 6th inning. The Cardinals will have David Eckstein up again. He hits in every inning, it seems. Eckstein, Nunez, and Pujols. The pitch is a strike. First pitch strike from Corcoran.
In the 6th, top of the 6th, Eckstein's 4th AB. You almost have to look at your scorecard and make sure he's not in there twice.
Slider is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's a strike. Fastball. That one around 92. The count is a ball, 2 strikes. Corcoran the other night was consistently in that 92-93 region with the fastball.
That's plenty good enough. He was also down in the zone as well.
And a base hit off a breaking pitch. Eckstein is on for the 3rd time. He is 2 for 3 officially. Hit by a pitch the other time up. So there he is again, not only at the plate, but on base. The radio booth apparently has termites.
Yeah, apparently that's one of the things that Rich Herrera has not tended to over there.
I mean, we didn't want to get personal or anything, but they've got termites in that booth.
Mm-hmm. And apparently they're starting to take a life of their own over there.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Andy and Dave.
Yep.
Flanked by a termite.
Oh, 1 the count here to Nunez. A 2-strike count. So Eckstein with a single to start it. Corcoran in his 2nd inning. It's going to be out of play into the upper deck, holding the count at 2 strikes.
I had to almost look for a second to be sure. And that was Willsy, Dave Wills over there, bearing a striking resemblance to a young Jay Randolph.
Good. He can make dinner reservations for us later.
I think he already is.
There's a ground ball to first and past Lee into right field. Eckstein's on his way to 3rd. It'll be 1st and 3rd with nobody out here on a chopping single that gets through the right side. Well, Jay was the man with all the connections. All the restaurants.
You need some tips at the horse track. Good bowling alleys. Good restaurants. Fine little duffer in his own right.
Here's Albert Pujols. Nobody out in the 6th. Inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Corcoran misses upstairs. Now he's behind Pujols. Hey, every week during the season, one young player 6 to 16 is nominated by his or her coach and selected as the Chevy Youth Player of the Week. That player will be notified and his or her name announced live during a Rays game. So coaches and parents, go to fsnflorida.com to nominate your young player. Jim Wolf out there to move this conversation along. Toby Hall and Tim Corcoran. They might have been discussing reservations as well.
One would certainly think so, as quickly as Jim Wolf made it out to the hill like he was shot out of a cannon.
A 2-0 count. Nobody out. So a spot for Corcoran facing Pujols. He fouls it back. That's going to carry out a play. It's 2-1. Pujols homered last night, his 17th home run. He now has 55 runs batted in. Hitting .331 for the year. That's a nice pitch in there for a called strike. 2-2.
Well, that hook he has pretty good finish to it. That's where you have to put it. It's one of the game's best. See Pujols nodding. Yep, that was a good pitch.
Corcoran's 2-2, and that's foul down beyond the bullpen and up into the seats.
Well, that's the strength of Pujols. It's so tough to get inside on him. Look how quick he gets to that ball. It's probably off the plate, but gets the barrel on it, just rifles it foul into the Cardinals' pen. Not a lot of holes in this swing.
And a 2-2 pitch again from Corcoran. Ground ball, base hit through the hole. Eckstein scores. That makes it 7-1 as Pujols drives in his second run. He's on for the fourth time.
You know, he hasn't been swinging the bat to his standards the last couple of weeks, but we've seen enough in how he battles through at-bats to be very impressed. That's his third hit today. And I think they've all come with 2 strikes.
You know, I was just going to say, this guy, in a way, is better with 2 strikes. Here's Larry Walker. I mean, he's a great hitter, and all the really great hitters are good 2-strike hitters. Walker takes one too high. A ball, no strikes. Nobody out. Walker drove in a run with a base hit in the second. He walked and scored in the fourth. 2-0. Chuck Hernandez trots to the mound now as Corcoran has run into a little spot here in the 6th. So they talk it over on the mound. We'll remind you again on FSN Florida Tuesday from Yankee Stadium when the Rays sent Hideo Nomo to the mound against Randy Johnson. We'll be with you beginning at 6:30 with our coverage on FSN Florida. You always have the best seat in the house on the television home of the Devil Rays, FSN Florida. Over the air tomorrow night to begin that series, Casey Fossum will open it against Sean Hinn. Still no outs in the 6th. Three and 0. That's the matchup tomorrow. Casey Fossum against Hinn. And there is ball 4. So that loads the bases. So Corcoran struggling here in the 6th, and the Rays just now get some action in the bullpen. Lee Gardner is up. So Gardner starts to loosen. Here's John Mabry. Strike one. Corcoran had a 1-2-3 fifth, but gave up the base hit to Eckstein here in the 6th to start this inning, and the Cardinals have tacked on another run, and they have loaded the bases. Line drive to first, out there on the double play. Lee tags Walker. So the line drive and an unassisted double play. That'll work.
And if any of the base runners on second, third were taking any liberties, that could have been a very easy triple play. But they did a good job, as they're taught, to freeze on the line drive. Travis quickly scanning the infield.
Here's the second baseman, Mark Grazzolani. It's too low. No ball, no strikes. Grazzolani nothing at 2 with a walk his first time. Nunez and Pujols at third and second. It's 2-0. Wechter pitched the first 4 innings. This is the second inning for Corcoran. And a foul back takes it to 2-1. Fly ball right field. That'll send Huff back on the run, and he reaches up to make the catch to retire the side. Bottom of the 6th coming at 7-1.
Aubrey Huff steps in to open the bottom of the 6th.
There goes after the first pitch, lifting a pop foul. That will be out of play. Huff singled in the first inning. He's 1 for 2 today. He was 0 for 4 last night and 1 for 4 the first night of this series. One and one. One ball, 2 strikes.
You know, it's an interesting story with Jim Wolf behind the plate. He's the brother of the Phillies left-hander Randy Wolf, and in case you're wondering, baseball has scheduled it to where he does not work the plate when his brother pitches against the Phillies. Of course, that won't be for some time now, as Randy Wolf's going to have Tommy John surgery. But, that's something you don't see very often. 2 brothers in the big leagues, one an umpire, one a pitcher.
The pitch is foul out of play. At a time we had an umpire and a catcher, Bill Haller and Tom Haller.
Yep. Is it Tom Haller the umpire?
No, the catcher.
Yeah, Bill Haller the umpire.
Yep. Line drive into left, and that's going to be in there for a base hit. So Huff opens the 6th inning. That's hit number 4 for the Rays. The Gatorade X factor of the game. Jeff Suppan, pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals, has never beaten the Rays. He is 0-6 against them, but has a 7-1 lead right now. Two other teams in the American League he has never beaten. One would be the Yankees and the other the Kansas City Royals. He faces Johnny Gomes now. Gomes has singled and walked. One ball, no strikes.
Have you seen any of those videos going back in time with Earl Weaver going ballistic? A lot of times it was with his favorite or not so favorite umpire, Mr. Haller. Those two went round and round.
There's a strike. 1-1.
And Lupinella just, 4 victories away from passing Earl Weaver.
Ground ball, shortstop. Eckstein goes to Grazomanic 1 over to first for 2. That erases the leadoff single. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Let's check in once again with Todd Callis.
Dwayne, it doesn't get any easier for the road-weary Devil Rays coming in with a 5-28 record before heading to Yankee Stadium. If you look at the schedule the rest of the way, and we'll see the next 5 games, all 42 games the rest of the way, or all 48 games the rest of the way out, are against teams that coming into today had a 500 record or better. That includes the Yankees, who are about to go 6-0 on their homestand. They're in the midst of a 13-game homestand. They have the Rays coming up for 4, and then the New York Mets in interleague play to wrap up their homestand. But it is a tough road schedule from here on out for the Rays, including for Yankee Stadium beginning tomorrow. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Well, the Yankees went into their game today with a 5-game winning streak. 1 ball, 1 strike. And in the midst of that streak, they've gone to 3 games over 500. They're now 3rd in the division. Bouncing ball, shortstop. Eckstein with a quick flip. We're through 6, and it's 7-1 St. Louis. The Rays, he faces Scott Seabold, and the pitch is outside. Gardner making his 5th appearance for the Rays, his first since the 11th in Pittsburgh, so this is the 8th day. Seabold lifts a fly ball, left center field, not very deep, and Crawford makes the catch. 1 away. Well, the Rays got on the board in the first when Johnny Gomes singled home a run, their only run of the game. That made it 2-1, but in the 4th inning, John Mabry's double opened the deficit. It's now 6-1. They added a run in the 6th to make it 7-1. That's how we stand as we play in the 7th. Tim Corcoran worked 2 innings, gave up a run. Doug Wechter 6 runs in 4. Taguchi bounces the first pitch foul. So Taguchi had multiple hit games in the first 2 games of the series. A couple of ground balls and a strikeout in this one. An 0-1 count. That's a strike, a breaking ball. 0-2.
Gardner not overpowering, but gets all of his pitches over the plate. Split finger, fastball, a couple different fastballs, breaking stuff. He'll invent pitches if he has to try to get you out.
A ball, 2 strikes. He was originally signed by the Rays back in May of '98. And a wave and a miss. So he strikes out Taguchi. 2 gone.
Nice running fastball there by Mr. Gardner. Starts in the middle of the plate and obviously does not end up there. Good pitch. I think that's one of the beauties of just locking in on the target, low middle, and just letting that movement take care of itself.
Here's Yadier Molina. He He waves and misses at the fastball. Strike one. So Gardner, the third pitcher of the day for the Rays. Breaking ball is a strike. 0-2. A little foul ball, a piece of that one. Holds the count at 0-2. Rays wrapping up this homestand. They dropped the first two games to the Cardinals. Last night 5-2 and the first night 6-4. A bouncing ball left side for Cantu. He's still at first, retires the side. A 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the seventh coming. Jeff Suppan making the start for St. Louis. Through 6, he's given the Rays just a run on 4 hits, a couple walks in the mix, and 1 strikeout. The Cardinals have gotten a combined 38 wins this year from their starting staff, and as much as we talk about how impressive the White Sox starting staff has been, the Cardinals have more wins out of their starters than the White Sox by 3. 38 wins for the Cardinals and 35 for the White Sox.
Well, all that means is that bullpen is going to be very well rested in the second half of the season.
Here's Damon Hollins. Ground ball, and that's fair. By the bag and up the left field line. Extra bases coming for Hollins. He's in at second with a stand-up double. He continues to lead all rookies in hitting coming into the day, batting .310.
Boy, what a great story that would be for a guy who said he's always been the 26th man, the odd man out, to win the Rookie of the Year at age 30. That would be cool.
So a leadoff double. Here's Toby Hall. Suppan up around 90 pitches now. Toby 0 for 2. Strike one. He missed the fastball. Cardinals have a left-hander busy in their bullpen. That's Randy Flores. He's one of a couple lefties in their bullpen. Fly ball, right side. Mabry in. Angelonic out, but it's going to be Mabry to make the catch. Toby's retired. Hit the ball in the air 3 times and is 0 for 3.
The tough thing about keeping that average together as a catcher, you get a lot of aches and pains, a lot of foul tips, and obviously it's a physically very demanding position. There's just some days, and oftentimes it shows up on day games when that bat feels really heavy.
Here's Nick Green. Nick hit by a pitch his first time. Out third the first, the last time up. 1-0.
That one was pretty close to hitting.
Green was really upset the other night. He got a chance to pinch hit in the 8th inning and struck out. He was not happy with himself over that. A ball, no strikes. Another one inside. 2-0.
Well, he fancies himself a reliable player. He's a very sound fundamental player. Got a lot of big hits for the Braves. Filling in for Marcus Giles when he went down last year.
2 balls and a strike.
And this year, Green has been wearing out the left-handers, over 400.
Rays with Hollins in scoring position. 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. Cut and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's what you like to see. Get into a hitter's count. Take a shot. Now shorten up with 2. Try to put it in play.
Yankees beat the Cubs, so the Rays will be heading into New York with the Yankees riding a 6-game winning streak. Wave and a miss, and Green is out on strikes. Second strikeout for Suppan. Two outs. Here's Carl Crawford looking for his first hit of the day. Nothing doing after that leadoff double by Hollins. One ball, no strikes. One. Beach ball loose out there in left field. That'll be taken care of as play is stopped for a moment.
Oh, that's it. You just hate to see a childlike play toy that has given them so much wonderment just immediately just torn to shreds.
The violence.
The heresy.
Base hit the other way for Crawford. Here comes Hollins around third. He will score. Here Carl Crawford comes up with a base hit. The Rays pick up their second run. 41st RBI for Crawford.
Carl again hitting early and often. Last 2 at-bats, he's hit the ball hard. Last time lined out to the right fielder. This time no one was going to catch this one.
So Crawford's aboard. Julio Lugo steps in there. Crawford back in, standing up. Lugo looks for his first hit. Twice is grounded to the shortstop. First time up, he lined to left. And he bunts third base side. That's rolling and will stay fair. Picked up by Nunez. So a bunt single with Crawford taking second. Lugo is aboard. That'll get Jorge Cantu up there.
You know, Dwayne, I'm sure it played into Lugo's mind that the Rays' hottest hitter in the on-deck circle. Lugo thinking, if I could just find a way to get on, maybe one swing of the bat radically changes the complexion of this game.
Well, Dave Duncan makes a trip to the mound, the Cardinals pitching coach. Jorge Cantu scheduled to be the hitter. He has a walk and a double. Last time he flied out to left. And he's been as hot as anybody in the Rays lineup. He's 10 out of 21 for the homestand. be Cantu against Suppan. He did it, 2 home runs in back-to-back at-bats in the 3rd and the 6th inning here Thursday, when he connected off the left-hander Mark Mulder. I said Thursday, that was Friday.
But it seemed like Thursday. It seemed like a long time ago.
He's hot, but he's not so hot that he can hit home runs on off days. Well, let's see what he can do here. Cantu goes after the first one and hits it foul outside of 3rd. Strike 1. Crawford second, Lugo at first. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rays with 2 men on, a run home, 2 outs in the 7th. The long one could make it fun right here. In again, 2 balls and a strike.
Well, Suppan knows that Cantu, a very good low ball hitter, and good coverage on the outside part of the plate, trying to crowd him in with that running fastball.
Suppan has given up 12 home runs this year. He leads the Cardinal staff in that category. 2-1. Way wide, and it skips past Molina, and the runners advance to 2nd and 3rd. So now both men are in scoring position, and the count advances to 3-1.
Those last 3 pitches not up to the control standards of Suppan, and I think sometimes you really have to look at the scoreboard as a pitcher and say, hey, it's a 5-run lead, and not be pitching so much safety first with double barrel action down there. He's probably up against his last hitter right now.
3 balls and a strike. Cantu takes ball 4, so that loads the bases. They're going to be loaded for Aubrey Huff with 2 outs, and that's going to be it for Suppan. So he got a couple outs here in the 7th. He'll have worked 6 2/3, and the Cardinals make a change. They want the lefty, and we'll be back in a moment.
Now Suppan departs. He worked 6 2/3, made 106 pitches. Leaves with a 7-2 lead, but he also leaves with the bases loaded. 2 runs so far charged to Suppan.
Boy, all these guys coming out of the Cardinal bullpen have very respectable numbers. They throw strikes, a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for Flores.
You know, he's 29 years old, Joe, and just got to the big leagues for a handful of games last year with the Cardinals after spending time in the Yankee system. He did spend a little time with Texas in 2002, but not a lot of appearances, and then back to the minor leagues with the Colorado ball club. Spent a little time with the Rockies, and then got to the Cardinals last year. The pitch to Huff is outside, 1 ball, no strike. So he's had a handful of major league experience, but most of that has come in the minor leagues over the last 9 years or so. But he throws strikes. 2-0 the count to Huff. Aubrey has never hit a grand slam. He's facing the lefty now, with Crawford at 3rd, Lugo at 2nd, and Cantu at 1st. And a foul back. A fastball, and Huff took a cut. 2-1.
Hope he sees another one. Hope he didn't miss his pitch. And lately that has been the story for Aubrey. When he gets a good pitch to hit, he's been swinging through it or fouling it back.
Nora's in to face the left-handed bat of Huff. The 2-1. And a check foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flores spent most of last year at Memphis and then 9 games with the Cardinals, including 1 start last year. He was 1-0. And again, briefly, big league time with Texas and Colorado. He's 2-2 with Huff. And that will take the count to 3-2 on a breaking ball. A run home with the bases loaded. 2 outs. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Huff swings, sends a fly ball back into left center field. Taguchi on the run, can't get there. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Crawford scores. Lugo scores. Cantu's going to score. It's a double for Huff, and the Rays are right back in it. Aubrey Huff with a 3-run double. The Rays have scored 4 in the 7th, and now it's 7-5. That's what the Rays need out of Aubrey Huff, and he delivered.
Well, we were talking about it right off the top this afternoon that Aubrey historically has swung the bat well in June. Not a lot of power to show so far in this month. But when he gets going, he can carry a club, and he's got this ball club right back in it.
Cardinals will make another pitching change as Huff picks up the 2-base hit. We'll be right back. Suddenly it's a 2-run ball game here. The Cardinals make a pitching change. They want the right-hander Al Reyes. He's done a nice job out of the bullpen. 31st appearance, 2-0 with a 208 earned run average. And here's another guy who has spent a lot of time with a lot of different clubs and has pitched well for the Cardinals. Johnny Gomes will face him, representing the potential tying run here in the bottom of the 7th. And a breaking ball, first pitch, strike call to Gomes.
All these guys, looking at their numbers, do a good job of coming in from the bully and throwing strikes.
Reyes, 35 years old. Upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, regardless of the game, it seems like the Rays just have a knack for getting that tying run to the plate. Looked like they were buried in this ball game until this inning.
Now the 1-1 and a foul back. Fastball, and Gomes took a big cut.
One of the reasons that Lou Piniella likes him so much, Johnny Gomes, is the way he takes a nice aggressive hack.
1-2. Up off second. He has driven in 3 of the 4 runs in this inning. Gomes started to go, but he checked. And now the count is 2-2. Gomes, the 8th man to come to the plate for the Rays in the 7th inning. He represents the tying run. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. The pitch from Reyes. Up upstairs, and we go all the way to 3-2 in this at bat with Gomes.
Well, Johnny looks like he is tracking the ball well from Reyes. He handles the ball below the waist better than he handles the ball above it. Boy, somewhere low middle that he could really put a hurting on.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Rays down by 2. And the pitch. Gomes swings and pops it up foul. That's going to carry out a play. And he's going to get another shot.
Well, those swings are sometimes just as big as the one you put into play. Those spoilers. Spoiling a good pitcher's pitch in hopes that he makes a mistake.
Full count. We'll see another one from the St. Louis right-hander. Reyes and Gomes right here, 3-2. The pitch is made, and a swing and a miss. Gomes out on strikes to retire the side. Rays back in it. They score 4, and at the end of 7, it's 7-5 St. Louis. On to the 8th, Franklin Nunez, the new pitcher for the Rays. It's now a 2-run ball game. Nunez making his 3rd appearance since being recalled from Durham. And here's that guy again, David Eckstein, leading off, and he takes the pitch low. Eckstein has scored 3 of the 7 St. Louis runs. Two balls, no strikes. So Wechter worked 4, gave up 6. Corker in 2 innings and allowed a run. And then Gardner worked the perfect inning. Nunez falls behind Eckstein, 3-0. Eckstein hitting .298 right now. And he draws the walk. He's on base again. Nunez walked him on 4 pitches. Abraham Nunez will be the hitter. And there's a ball low, prompting a visit to the mound by Toby Hall. Nunez has yet to throw a strike.
Well, these last 5 pitches, he's just been kind of heaving it up there as opposed to locking it on the glove.
The walk to Eckstein, the 5th allowed by Rays pitching today. That's a strike. 1-1. Low again, a fastball, 2-1.
You talk about Nunez, and he can generate all kinds of velocity. Now watch how he does it. The shoulders tilt. Watch, you're out of the glove, and that front shoulder comes up and then out and over. Sometimes that's really tough to repeat. He is like way over the top.
Goes Eckstein, and a base hit the other way for Nunez. Eckstein's going to stop at second, however, on the base hit into left. Nunez has 4 hits today. And the Cardinals put the first 2 men on in the 8th against Franklin Nunez.
Well, they've been rolling with Nunez playing 3rd. Two on with nobody out.
Albert Pujols batting with men on again. And a strike. Fastball with plenty on that one from Nunez. A walk and a single. 2 men on, nobody out.
Well, he's throwing it in there at 97, 98. One of the game's best right-handed hitters. Let's see if he can catch up to the Express.
1-1. Breaking ball there.
Of course, Nunez just up from Durham on the road trip, came into a bases loaded situation in Pittsburgh, threw 2 nasty sliders to get the count running in his favor. Good slider.
Right there is an example. That's a strike. That's 1-2.
You know, that's really just a byproduct of the velocity. Even the best hitters know that they've got to get everything started sooner for the fastball, and you throw a good breaking ball in there, that's the kind of vulnerability.
And it's low. A fastball. Two balls, 2 strikes. Pujols has been on 4 times. He has driven in 2 runs. And a wave and a miss. He struck him out. Nunez strikes out Pujols for the first out in the 8th.
Great explosive movement. He throws a lot of 4-seamers. This had to be the 2-seamer, the way it reacted. Look at that thing run. Getting Pujols out with a pitch like that is no accident. Wow, is that filthy nasty.
1 away. Larry Walker, he takes a strike. Walker singled in a run in the 2nd. A couple of walks today and a run scored. That one is outside, a fastball. It's 1-1. That's Julian Tavares busy in the bullpen. Too low. It's 2-1. We're in the 8th. Rays put 4 up in the 7th to get back in this thing. The Cardinals have a threat underway right now. Three balls and a strike. Bases are loaded. This pretty much has been the story on Nunez. He can make outstanding pitches. He has great arm strength, but consistency is a problem for him, and he's given up a couple of walks in that base hit, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
Well, try this on for size. I think 95 to 96 with location is a heck of a lot better than 98 without a clue. So it doesn't, I mean, you'd be surprised when you just back it off just a little bit and just smooth it up there. You'd be surprised how little you lose in your velocity, and all of a sudden your head's not bouncing around. You can see the glove and you have greater control. I think Chuck Hernandez just reminding him to pick up the glove and don't overthrow.
Here's John Mabry. Slow, a fastball. Mabry doubled in 2 runs in the 4th and lined into a double play in the 6th when the Cardinals had the bases loaded and nobody out. They wound up scoring 1 run in that inning. Ball 2. So Nunez missing with 2 fastballs to Mabry. And ball 3. Another fastball.
He's just doing a lot more throwing than he is pitching. And Lou begrudgingly saying, get somebody else up.
The 3-0. There's a strike.
This is the frustrating part because they've battled to get back into the game. And what you're looking for is a nice quick inning to go into the bottom of the 8th with still some offensive momentum.
The 3-1 pitch. Mabry fouls it back. So the count is full. There's Lance Carter in the Rays bullpen.
Well, if he comes in for Nunez, that's going to seem to these Cardinal hitters like the ball is stopping out in front of the plate.
(3-2) and a foul ball. High octane fastball that was close enough for Mabry to try to stay alive on. So Nunez, who fell behind 3-0, now 3-2 to Mabry again. And he walked him. That forces home a run. Well, that's going to make it a 3-run game. It's now 8-5. Eckstein scores for the 4th time today. Nunez goes to 3rd. Walker up to 2nd, and Mabry picks up his 4th run batted into the contest.
Easy to see how the Cardinals have 8 runs. Hitters 1 through 4 have been on base 17 times today.
Here's Mark Grenzelenik. Base is still loaded, only 1 out. Nunez misses upstairs. 3 walks and a hit in the inning, a run home, bases loaded, 1 gone.
Dwayne, it's almost like he is pitching to the gun as opposed to pitching to the glove.
And a foul ball. 1-1. Sometimes that becomes a preoccupying factor. And normally when that's the case, it's a negative. High again at 98. Lugo comes in to have a word with Nunez.
Earlier in the inning, we showed you the delivery of Nunez and the way that he really bends his back and bends his head out of the way. I think that's a tough delivery to really garner consistency with and to repeat. Fantastic arm strength.
2-1. Up and in, ball 3. So he's missing badly with the fastball. How about this? He made the best pitch he could make to Pujols, the toughest hitter in this lineup. He got him on strikes, and he can't throw a strike to anybody else.
It's almost like he wanted to show how nasty he was to one of the game's best hitters.
And a ground ball to 2nd. Green to Lugo. That's 1. Over to 1st. He gets the double play. 4-6-3, and the Cardinals settle for a run. 8-5 St. Louis. Chuck Hernandez, a little discussion with Franklin Nunez. Well, there's a lot of teaching going on and a lot of refreshing points that have to be made over and over. And as we go to the bottom of the 8th, the Rays now down by 3. Travis Lee will lead it off here against Reyes, and the pitch is a strike. Change in the outfield for the Cardinals here. There's Reggie Sanders in left. 1-1 to count to Lee. Lee, Hollins, and then Hall due up for the Rays. It's 2 balls and a strike. Lee dropping under 250 with the 0 for 3 today. Ahead in the count this time around, 3-1. It's fouled out of play. Well, the momentum of this game tried to change a little bit, but the Rays got into the top of the 8th, and the Cardinals managed to put up 1 run. So the Rays, instead of being down by 2, now down by 3.
Both teams can sense at a time when one has the momentum, and it's easy to recognize, and I think your job as not only as a fielder, hitter, pitcher is to do everything you can to keep it. That's why that inning from Nunez is a little disappointing.
Lee draws the walk. The Rays pick up a base runner on the leadoff pass to Travis Lee. The hitter's going to be Damon Hollins, who started that 4-run 7th with a double. Tony La Russa pops out of the dugout with an eye toward the bullpen. And that's going to be it for Reyes. So Reyes departs after facing 1 man in the 8th and will return in a moment. 8-5, we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Julian Tavares is the new pitcher for St. Louis. Tavares following Reyes. He is the 4th pitcher of the afternoon for St. Louis. Damon Hollins the hitter, and the first pitch is a fastball strike. Wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is the 33rd appearance for Tavares. He's 1-1 with a .281 earned run average, 27 strikeouts, and only 6 walks allowed in 32 innings by Tavares. Count is now 2-1. Ray King, the lefty, in the bullpen for St. Louis. Leadoff walk to Lee, and a bouncing ball going to be over the head of Nunez and into left. Another hit for Hollins. Lee will turn second and hole on a base hit for Damon Hollins, who is 2 for 4.
Well, Damon Hollins creates a lot of bat speed and a lot of topspin on those ground balls to the left side. Hits those on the ground, and he gets a lot of these 1 hop over the third baseman or deep into the hole hits. A lot of strength, and some hitters, when they pull the ball, tend to hit it on the ground. He just beats that thing into the ground and over the head of the third baseman.
So the first 2 men are on base here in the bottom of the 8th. Reggie Taylor's going to pinch hit for Toby Hall, and the Cardinals will have a major conference on the mound as Ray King continues to loosen in the bullpen.
I think everybody getting on the same page. Infielders want to know what the signs are that the catcher is given, so they can position themselves accordingly, especially a guy like Eckstein, who really relies on being able to break towards where he thinks the ball is going to be hit, trying to get that extra little edge.
So here's Reggie Taylor to pinch hit against Tavares. 5 runs off Suppan. Flores worked to 1 man. Reyes the 3rd of an inning, and now Tavares. it out of play. Strike one.
Taveras has always been one of those pitchers that has that loosey-goosey three-quarter sidearm delivery. The ball just seems to whip right out of his hand. Big slider. Good moving, sinking fastball.
32-year-old right-hander. And a foul back on a fastball. Taylor took a cut at the fastball but fouled it, and it's 0-2.
You can hear our crowd mic behind home plate. Taveras trying to get everything he can out of his pitches, grunting after every one he throws up there.
The pitch, ground ball, foul outside of first. Taylor fouled that fastball.
I don't know if that was very smart in that situation, Dwayne, with Taveras trying to fake a swing move. Watch him try to fake a swing move to try to freeze Travis Slade. These are important pitches. You don't want to be taking your eye off the glove. Make him stop over there, but he threw that pitch right down the middle of the plate, and he really got away with an 0-2 pitch. It's when you kick yourself as a hitter, not being able to take advantage of a mistake.
So Taylor down 2 strikes. One outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Taylor struck out as a pinch hitter Friday night after a prolonged at-bat, fouling off a number of pitches. And he checks on this one. That's outside. That'll take the count to 2-2. Taylor pinch hitting for Toby Hall. The 2-2. There's ball 3. So Taveras continues to take a shot. Has missed with 3 out there, and the count is full.
Good eye by Reggie Taylor on those last 2 very close pitches.
Walk and a single, 2 men on with nobody out. Taylor got down 0-2. Now it's 3-2. Taveras delivers, and Taylor strikes out. He came back and got him on a fastball around 93. That's the first out. One away with runners still at first and second, and here's Nick Green.
One thing we've seen in this series, Dwayne, about these Cardinal relievers is when it comes down to their having to make a pitch, they've had the ability to make it in the 3 games that we've had to look at.
Here's Green, and he swings through this one. Strike 1.
Based on that swing of Nick Green, I think he's going to see a couple more of those boring sinkers.
A 1-strike count. Very wide this time. It's 1-1. Taveras in the game Friday worked a 1/3 of an inning. Gave up hits to Lugo and Huff and struck out Cantu. One on Green. this one back. Again, Taveras coming in, and he has the advantage in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think those 2 strikes or 2 swings by Green were strikes from Taveras, but just a hard pitch to lay off. Coming in around 90 with good tailing action. When you commit, when you decide they look good, by the time it's in the glove, seemingly well off the plate.
And a swing and a miss. He got him with a fastball. So Green out on strikes for the second time in this game. Back-to-back strikeouts. So Taylor and Green. Now Carl Crawford is due up. Dave Duncan out of the St. Louis dugout. They have Ray King all set in the bullpen. So the Cardinals will make still another pitching change here in the 8th. We'll be back in just one moment. Tony La Russa again goes to the bullpen. This will be pitcher number 5. He's matching up here. The left-hander Ray King makes his 33rd appearance. He is 1-1 with a .306 earned run average.
Well, he's been battling with his slider lately until Friday night when he came in to face Nick Green, who at that time was hitting .416 against left-handed pitchers. And King threw one of his best sliders to strike out Nick Green.
Well, here's Carl Crawford. Crawford and an RBI single in the 7th. 2 men on with 2 outs in the 8th. Crawford hits it on the ground to short. Eckstein will take it to first out there, and that retires the side. Through 8-5 St. Louis. Lance Carter becomes the new pitcher for the Rays, pitcher number 5 for Tampa Bay. Lance is 1-1. This is his 24th appearance. And the first man he faces is Reggie Sanders. Kevin Cash takes over behind the plate. And the pitch swung on and a fly ball hit deep to left. Crawford all the way to the wall, and he makes the catch. Carl Crawford with a leaping grab in front of the wall. That is out number 1.
Well, you watch the route that Carl took, the way he went back on it, and you just got the feeling that this was going to stay in the park. This was in his hip pocket. Oh, yeah, I got that. That's like routine for me.
1 away. Here's Taguchi. The pitch to him is low. 1 ball, no strikes. Upstairs, 2-0. 6 off Wechter, 1 off Corcoran, 1 off Nunez. Gardner pitched a scoreless inning. It's fouled back, and the count is 2-1. Three-run ball game. We're in the 9th. Taguchi bunts third base, barehanded by Cantu. Throw to first. Got it. Nice play right there. 2 gone. Game recap brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of baseball. 4th inning double by John Mabry made it 6-1 St. Louis. In the 7th, Aubrey Huff got the Rays back in with a bases loaded double. That made it 7-5. The game recap brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of baseball. 2 outs now with the bases empty, and here's Yadier Molina. That's a strike.
Now watch Cantu get the handle on it there. Continues to work at his third base play, and he's been very solid this afternoon.
Down to first, and a short hop pickup by Lee. He makes the play unassisted. Nice grab right there. Bottom of the 9th coming, 8-5 St. Louis. Jason Isringhausen on again. His 26th appearance. 0-1 and 20 of 21 in the save department. Julio Lugo to lead off. Lugo bunted his way on the last time and wound up scoring a run. Rays again in a situation where they need base runners. They managed to put the tying run to the plate in both the 7th and 8th innings. Right now they're down 8-5.
They've really battled in this series. They've had to face Isringhausen.
Popped up on the right side. Gonzalez got it second, takes care of that. 1 out.
Had to face him in all 3 games.
Well, that tells you a little something about the way the Rays battle. Although they dropped the first 2 games, the Cardinals found it necessary to have their closer in the game at the end of all 3 of these. Isringhausen picking up saves in the games Friday and Saturday. A 3-run lead here in the final game of the series. Cantu fouls it away, strike 1.
It's been easy to see why the Cardinals are the class of the National League, and that's shown up in this series. But I think also how well the Rays have battled staying with this club and also getting back into this game, which they were down as much as 7-1.
Cantu takes it in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And a testament to that man right there. Of course, Lee Ilya hasn't received as much credit as he should, the way the Rays have been swinging the bats.
2 balls and a strike. Well, they've been 5th or 6th all year consistently in the American League in runs scored. They've had a number of games in which they've scored 5+ runs. Foul ball, that's going to be out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Close that time for ball 3.
Did that ball go through him?
It appeared, didn't it?
Yeah.
Again, proving that the plate umpire has a much better view of the plate than we do. Swing and a miss. Fastball, and Cantu strikes out. 2 outs now in the 9th. Aubrey Huff will be the hitter for the Rays down to their final out.
Well, Isringhausen has really found a home as a closer. Loves the action. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago when he came up with the Mets with all kinds of promise.
And Huff lifts a high fly ball to left. Over for it is Sanders, and that retires the side and ends this ball game. 8-5 the final. So the Cardinals sweep this 3-game series. Suppan's going to get the win, Wechter the loss, and the St. Louis Cardinals hold off the Rays this afternoon to post an 8-5 final. Although no home runs were hit in this game, thanks for your support for the Home Run Challenge. Make your pledge by calling 800-798-CURE or go online to prostatecancerfoundation.org. So the Rays wrap up the homestand. We'll be headed to New York. Todd Callis will be along in just a moment. Now for Joe McGrain and the rest of our award-winning crew, Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. Again, the final 8-5.